The Ewe Manifesto. Ewe, a description for art that is neither good to look at, nor pleasant to smell, nor fun to touch, nor entertaining to think about. Ewe would sum up watching if you watched a walrus give birth, but you were way too close. That would be Ewe filmmaking right there. Maybe your drawing comes apart at the seams as you begin to draw it, and honestly, you'd get done and you wish you were dead, it looks so bad. That might be an Ewe piece of art that you just did. Okay, that's part of a movement. Don't throw it away. We got a place in the Ewe Museum for it, and we're looking for Ewe Art, and then we put it in our museum, and we got on the floors we have good fucking vomit buckets for our esteemed guests and wonderful benefactors to throw up into. Because, Ewe art can be somewhat obscene from time to time. One time I saw a couple pieces of American cheese being melted between the skin flabs of a fat lady at a Six Flags location. Yep, having a great day at the water park. In the end of the film, the cheese ended up actually being put on a hamburger, which I guess at that point would be called a cheeseburger. And some lucky fella actually ate it. Now that was an Ewe film right there. That was a very disgusting, appalling, I kind of wish I had never seen it or heard about it kind of film. That's Ewe art. That's Ewe art. In terms of manifesto writing, you might argue that because the way that I'm telling everybody about this manifesto is poorly written and badly structured and just not very interesting, because of all that, it might be considered an Ewe manifesto. This itself could potentially be an Ewe piece of art. I think it might be. I guess it depends on. It kind of depends on popular consensus in terms of the history of art. The consensus of modern historians. But what is rarely discussed is what the artist intends, and I do intend this manifesto actually to be a piece of Ewe art. I'm not afraid. I'll add another tenet of Ewe art is that it's very blunt in its purpose. It's not trying to hide anything. That's why I need to say something like if this manifesto were truly an Ewe piece of art, it would need to say this is attempting to be an Ewe piece of art. And that's another way that you can just clearly define what the if it's Ewe or not. That's one of the definitions of Ewe, is that it's not up for interpretation. It's very much declared an Ewe by the person who made it. I hope you historians out there don't go getting any ideas. Don't go getting ideas to call, because here's anybody born before 2021. In fact, exactly, anybody born before, November 8th, 11:23 p.m., 2021, would have ever participated in Ewe art. This is exclusively a now kind of thing. This is, I hate to be messianic here, but it's kind of like a new BC, We had before Christ, and now we had BE before Ewe. So, welcome to Ewe history, everybody. I guess this is a new phase. Before this moment, You guys have no Ewe Art. This is different, though. This is absolutely different. And that's a wonderful thing, I think. Did I cut two? Oh, Jesus. You know what I just did? Oh, everybody listening is going to think I'm just the silliest guy. But, I guess shit like this happens. This isn't looking so bad right now. You could put this right here. You could put this right here. You could put hour right here, So, see, I think sometimes Ewe Art goes on for too long as well. That's another thing it can do from time to time, anyway. I'll add that to Ewe Art as well. It should never, it never has to be the same. All these standards, it doesn't matter with Ewe Art. At least it's very, very much in only declaring Ewe Art that it's made Ewe. We gotta write this hour a bit funky, I guess. Comedy. We're trying to balance this out, right? Oh my God, how do you balance this out? It's challenging from time to time. Sometimes it's challenging, I guess. Oh, perfect, actually. That's amazing. I just got it slanted normally. And think of this like this. Comedy hour. The hour is going to be very simple. But you should know a lot before you start participating in Ewe Art. I'll tell you what, it took me this long. It took me at least 3 years of participating in art and making movies and such to get to the stage where I could declare Ewe Art. So, it takes some time, guys. You can't just start being Ewe and expect it all to go very well. Ewe develops. Then again, oh shit. Wow, this manifesto is still going. What are you guys doing here? It's over. You can go home now. That's another rule with Ewe Art. You should always Bueller them. If you're doing Ewe Art, you can state if you're doing Ewe Art. But if I'm not Buellered, then I have all rights to declare that it's not Ewe Art. And by the fact that this is an addition to the Ewe Art Manifesto, this means that this was, while it was a Bueller, wait, oh my God, you can put the Bueller in the middle of the piece of art. I'll grant you that. If you put the Bueller in the middle of the piece of art, then that's fine. As long as there's a Bueller where I'm kind of sitting there going like, what's going on? Nothing's happening, Bueller did do his first Bueller after the credits. I'll say that, but I see no reason to do that. You know what I'm talking about. Ewe Art is always if you're not stealing when you're doing Ewe Art, yes, you need to steal. You must steal at least one other time, other than the Bueller. The Bueller obviously is mandatory stealing. All the other stealing, figure out some way to do that. But certainly I grant you, the more that you steal for the art, the piece of Ewe Art, the more you've succeeded in doing it. That's another rule of Ewe Art. If you're trying to participate, and you can't post about it on Instagram. You got to make a whole ass YouTube video about it. That's Ewe Art. Yeah, it's not Instagram. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much about Ewe Art. It's not Instagram. It's not TikTok either. If you're thinking you could TikTok on out of here with Ewe Art, no way. I dismiss that. If you're not, and if you know what, you don't need to dismiss TikTok or Instagram to be an Ewe Art, but you need to dismiss something. Yeah, I'll say that. I'll say that about Ewe Art. You got to dismiss one other thing at least, and I chose Instagram and TikTok. I'll dismiss a lot more too, I think. Why not? Why not? Fuck them. Fuck the things. Yeah, dude, but it's mind control. Anybody, I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a point where, I hope there's never a point where, I don't think it should be possible. I'm trying to make the Ewe Art style a style that can't be done by somebody who's mind controlled, Mind controlled and shit like that. I want Ewe to be very, very liberated. Mentally, of course. Which I think equates to everything. When you get down, and that's why trying to participate in Ewe Art, for those of you health nuts out there looking for some way to de-stress, relax, detox, Ewe Art requires very little, because it can be whatever the fuck. If you don't want to show anybody, it's Ewe Art. Write a little letter. Write a little letter saying that it's Ewe Art. That's all you gotta do. You don't even have to do that. It could just be Ewe Art. Get a box of crayons. Go to the toilet. Take a crap for an hour and a half. As you do that, try to draw like a house or something. Ewe Art right there. The best Ewe Art, this is another rule about Ewe Art. The best Ewe Art is drawn while pooping. Or filmed, I guess, while pooping, Any way that Ewe Art can involve excrement, I think, personally, is a benefit to our great race. Ewe Art questions debauchery. Yes. I'd say the only time people are trying to do Ewe Art is when civilizations are collapsing. And, logic fails to make sense. That's why Ewe Art is so, Ewe Art is also just an iteration of a growing art movement as well. Ewe Art recognizes history. I'll say that about Ewe Art. It certainly aspires to, anyway. What a good manifesto so far. I think this is going pretty well. I'll probably cut down some of the times in the middle. I'll tell you this much. Ewe Art is edited. Ewe Art is edited. Dude, what a great concept, actually. I can make my own manifesto with this recording. I can just cut everything down. Wow. Get a whole bunch of rules just listed out. Everything's recorded. I don't have to do much. Probably put some random shit in the background. I'm so happy I started recording this manifesto. Guys, Ewe Art makes you happy. That's another rule. That's another rule. If you're not happy after you're done doing Ewe Art, then it was never Ewe Art. It was probably like you were trying to repaint Picasso or something. You idiot. Anyway, you're happy when you're done doing Ewe Art. Whoever criticizes Ewe Art has a smelly finger. Yes, a smelly finger, for which to point at the Ewe Art. Their fingers get too close and they become smelly. That's how they got these smelly fingers, these Ewe Art critics. They pointed their finger at too much Ewe Art. So now their fingers smell. If you ever come along in your travels, a person with a smelly finger, you've encountered an Ewe Art critic. I recommend you stay at least 5 feet away. Not because they're sick or anything, mind you, just because they're gonna point at everything. You can eat McDonald's and look at Ewe Art at the same time, and no one's going to get mad at you. Children make the best Ewe Art. I'm not saying that children draw Ewe Art very well. I'm saying children themselves are a piece of Ewe Art. Just so nobody gets weird about that whole child being art thing I just said, I only mean that we should lock them in glass boxes and leave them for people to watch as they're on display in a glass box. Preferably with no air going to it. And people just sit there all day. Oh, that could be a piece of Ewe Art. You know, here, if the, I'll say this is I wonder if there have been any art movements that have allowed for people to die in the process of the art. And I'll tell you what, Ewe Art certainly allows for the death of people in the making of Ewe Art. For example, Alec Baldwin's new movie, that would be an example of Ewe Art. That's, you don't need to declare it as something. If a death happens while making a project, it's a piece of Ewe Art. So think Spider-Man the Musical. Think Alec Baldwin's new movie. Think, what else have people died in? You know, we're gonna have to look this up, I guess. Or, if you guys know people who've died in the making of any art, leave a comment. Leave a comment, because I don't know. What a great place for a comment. We'll share history together, guys. I don't devalue that. I'm not going to read your comments, but that doesn't mean that they're not important. all part of how YouTube pays a person. You know, that's what I'll say that about Ewe Art. It's done for money, unless it's not. Sometimes, you know, if you got Ewe Art, try to get some money out of it. If you get some money out of it, that means it's officially Ewe Art. You know, try to abide by all the other rules still. You know, don't forget about the stolen stuff and all the other nonsense I've said, but certainly try to get some money out of your Ewe Art if you're participating in the whole thing. Which, you know, people may not. This is my Harvard sweatshirt. But Fordham coat is close.
When the fuck did you go to Harvard?
We've talked about this. I toured Harvard.
Oh, did you consider applying?
Fuck no. I was never going to make it into Harvard. Look at me.
Why not?
I'm a goofy motherfucker.
Yes.
I'd have to pay for the whole thing, and you know, it's really not worth it with a school like Harvard. I'll say that about any Ewe artists. They didn't go to Harvard. Stop being rich or smart. Ewe artists. I'm making a manifesto. I'm making an art manifesto for Ewe Art.
What's Ewe Art?
Ewe.
What's Ewe?
It's really gross art. It's art you wish you never saw. It's the kind of art you look at it and you say, ew.
Ouch.
And you don't want to look at it even anyway.
Like 2 girls, 1 cup.
Oh yeah, that could be Ewe Art. This is one of the things about Ewe Art is if anybody died in Ewe Art, if anybody died making something, it's Ewe Art. So Spider-Man the musical, the new Alec Baldwin movie, Ewe Art. He's part of a movement. We didn't even know it.
Did Spider-Man the musical know it?
Oh no, of course they didn't. Well, Ewe Art wasn't even a thing back then. That's another thing I stipulated, that no Ewe Art could have happened before November 8th at 11:38 p.m. in the year 2021.
Why?
Why? Because it wouldn't be possible if it did happen. Because Ewe Art was just a thing. Oh wait, but those only count.
You know that tomorrow is going to be 9/11?
Tomorrow's not going to be 9/11.
It is.
No, it won't.
9th of November? November is an 11th month.
Oh, Jesus.
Happy 9/11,
Yeah,
Cody!
shut the fuck up. I already celebrated 9/11.
How do you celebrate?
Obviously, I had cinnamon rolls.
Oh, God.
Santa Claus is capitalism's #1 weapon. All right. Look what you need to do to get Santa Claus, a bringer of consumer item gifts. A bringer of consumer items. What you have to do with Santa Claus is you have to better not cry, better not pout. What the U.S. government wants you to do, and this is how they're weaponizing Santa, is to not bemoan the state of the union and, cry about no one having enough money or food, or pout about, everybody, being brainwashed by phones and everything. And that's how capitalism sells it. You better not cry, you better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus, of course, being a reference to the military, who is going to give you bullets as presents. They're going to shoot you and everyone you know. Santa Claus, capitalism's #1 weapon. Never forget that. Okay, so when you're sitting around a Christmas tree this, Christmas, maybe don't accept his presents. Maybe send him back to the North Pole this time, everybody. Santa Claus, capitalism's #1 weapon. Their weapon.
Everything in life that could be a metaphor for it is part of life. That would be nice. But no one's looking at my juicy ass that much. Or maybe that's why.
No one's looking at life that much. Just live by, fly on autopilot, and then in the end.
If you're boring.
Yes, but you have a juicy ass. You have life.
The only thing I got is a sugar pop. That's what I'm going to tell the officer next time.
What?
The only thing I got is a sugar pop. And then I'll promptly show him my cocaine.
What else are you going to show him?
Oh yeah, look at that. Now there's an official setup right there. Get this nonsense. For studio. I think we're ready for business. We're ready for business. You guys are still here? Get out of here. What are you guys doing?